So with a catalog of over 100 games and new titles being added all the time literally, is Xbox Game Pass actually worth it? For $9.99 it sounds like a really great deal, but is it though? Let's have a look at it. Hey, how's it going guys? It's Robin here on RB and Hardware. On this channel I cover cheap PC tech and gaming hardware, so if you're interested in that, consider subscribing and don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you don't miss out on future videos. Today we're gonna take a greater look at Microsoft Game Pass or Xbox Game Pass. Is it worth $10 a month? And what are you really getting out of it? And what about crossplay and play anywhere? Does all of these games work on PC as well? So a lot of questions here. Let's get into it. And I kind of found this a bit funny, but this is by far the one single service I've subscribed and unsubscribed from the most. But yeah, more on that a bit later. Let's do a bit of backstory here. So Microsoft launched the Xbox Game Pass for Xbox One as described as a Netflix for video games back in June 2017. And what Game Pass does is that it grants user access to a catalog of games from a range of publishers for a single monthly subscription price. The service is similar to existing EA Access and the PlayStation Now, and at launch the Game Pass had around 100 games or so, and as of posting this video there are nearly 200 games available. And yeah, since launch Microsoft has been adding new games every month or so, and their commitment is to continue doing that for months and years to come. Xbox Live Gold membership is not required, but in order to have access to multiplayer features and functionality in games that support that, such as Rocket League for example, Xbox Live Gold is necessary. You can of course enjoy Forza Horizon 4 for example in single player storyline and campaign, even though the experience is gonna be a tad bit limited. Now while new games are constantly being added to the list, from time to time games are also getting withdrawn from the catalog as well. Now what I can say guys is what I particularly like about the gaming service like Game Pass is that it offers games from a wide range of publishers. For example, we got Namco, Capcom, VB Games, 2K Games, we got Sega, and of course we got first party games from Microsoft and 343 Studios. Let's talk about the games for a moment. So the catalog features a wide range of Xbox One as well as a selection of 360 games, but even a few selected original Xbox titles I should say, that can be found here as well, all of whom fully works on the Xbox One console. And some of the more popular ones Microsoft spent even more time on to give them the Xbox One X enhancement stamp, which typically means higher rendered textures, 4K support, and even higher frame rate as a result. In some titles, Halo 3 for example did get a complete overhaul with 4K and 60 FPS support, which was pretty nice to see. Now there's no limit in how many games you can download and install, and as long as the game remains in the Game Pass catalog, it will be available to download and play as many times as you want. The games can also be played while not being connected to the internet, but you have to reconnect to verify your account every other 30 days in order to verify that you in fact have an active subscription. So how good is this service? Now, I've spent quite a lot of time browsing through the catalog, and I'm a sucker for first-person shooters and racing games mainly, and there are a handful of really popular and interesting titles here such as Rocket League, Forza Horizon 4, Sea of Thieves, we got Doom, we got Gears of War 4, but I kind of fell in love with Ori and the Blind Forest as well, and Halo Wars 2 as well. Now Halo Wars 2 for example is a real-time strategy game, and these typically don't play very well with the controller in my opinion. Luckily with Play Anywhere I can download and play this on my PC with the keyboard and mouse as well. Unfortunately, this game has no support for keyboard and mouse on Xbox, which is again a bit unfortunate. So what is Play Anywhere? Well, some games are part of something called Play Anywhere, which means that you can play the game on a Windows 10 PC as well. And I wouldn't call this selection of games the strongest list I've ever seen. It is however enough to consider the Game Pass for 30 days or maybe even 2 months, even if you're only playing on on a Windows 10 PC alone. For instance, we got Forza Horizon 4, which is a strong title I've been wanting to play for quite a while now. We got Sea of Thieves and the latest Gears of War 4. Now all of these games can be played on both Xbox and PC, and in my case, instead of simply buying all of them separately, I signed up for the subscription for $9.99 a month, and I can play them as much as I want and simply cancel the subscription whenever I'm done with the games. The cool thing with Forza Horizon 4 is that when I'm playing on PC, I can also hook up my Logitech G27 wheel and continue on from where I left off on my Xbox. And so even if you, let's say, jump between PC and console, your progression always follows you along and you essentially never have to do things twice. Games that support Play Anywhere can be found through the Windows Store and be installed from there, which is kind of nice. Once you have subscribed to the subscription, you can just jump into the Windows Store and install the Play Anywhere titles from the Windows Store in itself. I gotta say though, I'm not a fan of either the Xbox dashboard or the Windows Store. It's something about the design I'm not a big fan of, but anyway, it works. I really hope that for 2019 Microsoft really do something about the Windows Store and the Xbox dashboard. Please try and organize things and make it better. But anyway, as you can see, it does actually make sense to sign up even if you're not on Xbox typically. And in my case, even though I own an Xbox, I kind of find it more satisfying to game Forza Horizon on PC instead, since I got options to play at better graphical settings and I got a wheel that I can add in as well. What about crossplay? Crossplay essentially lets you join up and play with people even if they're not gaming on Xbox in particular. Now even though crossplay hasn't been along for such a long time, we only got a few options here such as Fortnite and Rocket League. Now although Fortnite is a fantastic crossplay game, it is not a part of Game Pass, but Rocket League actually is, and I actually had the chance to try this out. Now although you can create a private server and let your PC and PS4 friends to join you, matchmaking is still not working, so experience right now is still a bit limited and it's not totally seamless, but the game developers are working on a patch update that introduces something called Rocket ID that lets you add friends based on a unique Rocket ID that will be introduced soon, much like how Fortnite works. Now this update is supposed to roll out in the beginning of 2019, and so if you're watching this video a few weeks after this was posted, chances are this new update is out and matchmaking and everything in between should work seamlessly on Rocket League. But as opposed in this video, this patch isn't out yet. But with that said, let's go back to Play Anywhere again, because I quite honestly like the concept of this. The problem once again, however, is that the catalog of Play Anywhere titles available on the Game Pass subscription is still rather thin, with just around 30 titles or so available at the moment. And so in order to keep PC players wanna pay up the monthly service, the list of interesting games needs to grow a bit bigger here. We simply need better and more AAA games on this list. Luckily there are a few ones on the horizon. For example, we got Halo Infinite, and rumors are saying that the upcoming Outer Worlds from the Microsoft now owned studio Obsidian Games will end up on Game Pass as well, but at the moment, yeah, we don't know for sure. And with that said, however guys, if your goal is just to game on your Xbox One console or your Windows 10 PC and you don't want to buy or simply just want a lot of games for cheap, I definitely see the potential of the servers here, as it basically gives you a huge library of almost 200 games for under $10 a month, and on top of that you also get to try it out for just $1 for 2 weeks. And even if you just play a couple of games, $10 a month, I found it quite worth it, since a game typically costs $60. But is it worth paying for months after months? Now, unless Microsoft keep adding games I'm interested in, I will most likely be happy to end my subscription when I'm finished with Gears and Forza. Speaking of which, I didn't count here guys, but I think it's around 2 or 3 clicks to unsubscribe from the Game Pass. Thank God. Now, to try and summarize Game Pass, there are pros and cons here, of course. You never own any of the games unless you buy them, but I gotta say I'm quite fine with that and it fits my playstyle. Now, I wanna know in the comments, guys, what are your thoughts on Xbox Game Pass? Have you ever tried it? And do you find it good value? Let me know in the comments below. Now, I'm gonna be back with a brand new video very soon, guys. Until then, have an awesome day, alright?